Hello and welcome to another edition of the Comics Pals Reviews. I almost said a different show. I'm getting I got to get used to hosting these things. I'm your host Tyler, and I'm joined by my fellow Latino.
Oh,
I guess
the
this is
the POC pals.
the I mean it's announced already. That's why Pete's leaving. No.
So
Kale's still on it, so I guess that just destroys the logic there.
well, no, you need the balance, you know.
I guess then Pete should. All right, this is quickly falling apart. I don't want to get people, writing it in the comments here.
No, we do want people writing into the comments.
Yes, but if you bring up race, that's a little weird, and maybe you shouldn't. The only race you should be talking about is the race that Ghost Rider makes in one of these comics down. We'll get to it.
Or the mutant race, right, Tyler?
Are they a race?
Yes.
It's like it's like white people. This is a really charged one, guys. Sorry. Like, is it a race or is it a culture? I don't know. Is it culture? What is culture?
Ethnicity? What's going on here?
Yeah. Mutants. Let's see where they are in it. Guys, welcome to the Comics Pals Reviews, the Thursday show where we talk about the books that came out on Wednesday.
There it is.
Yes. We had 4 books this week. I'm kind of bummed, but we're talking about the Trial of Magneto number 5, and I'm bummed because we're not joined by Sean and Pete, but we have thoughts on that one. We're also be talking about Batman One Dark Knight by Jock, Avengers Forever number 1, and Nightwing 87. I like how we're doing a number 1 and then a number 87 right afterwards. 2 great jumping on points. Honestly,
honestly though,
about which one's more of a jumping on point.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Yeah, guys. So comic books. We're talking about funny books. We're talking about books with pictures and color and art and fun. And the first one we're going to talk about is Trial of Magneto number 5. So this book is by, let me just get the exact team here for you. I know it's by Leah Williams, but the art team is kind of fluctuated a bit.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it here. Yeah. So the art team is Lucas Wernick on art and Edgar Delgado on colors, with Clayton Cowles on letters and Tom Mueller designing, just like every other X book. Get that paycheck, Tom Mueller.
Let's go.
So we have been, I would say, on a united front when it comes to the thoughts on this book, right? I think we've all been kind of on the same page.
Yeah, we love it.
I don't know about that. So
we read it.
We read it. I don't even want to say we hate read it. I am interested in reading it. Like, I think, like, when I see it on the stands, the quote unquote stands, I want to read it. I'm like, oh, okay, that'll probably be on the high part of my pile. But I'm just very confused by it, and not even just in terms of the content and the plot and the character work. I'm confused on the branding of it, the marketing on it. It is a question mark of a book for me, and I don't think it's necessarily bad either. It's just strange. Does that make sense?
It feels messy from like the X stories that we're getting at the moment. Like where it gets slotted in, plus how this is supposed to follow the whole gala and then go into the next wave. And we've talked about this, how I think it was issues with like delays and different books coming out around different times, and this was supposed to be slotted in differently. And so
I believe it was actually supposed to be a continuation of X Factor, like another arc, or at least the general story going on here.
Yeah, and it just feels like it got inserted, and we're kind of, at least for everybody else that has been reading some of the other X books, like we are kind of already past this moment in time. We're just kind of like still dragging along here, and
it was like marketed as like an event book.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yep.
It was like one of the big summer announcements.
I mean, it was supposed to have all these, and that's the other thing I think that's been very messy about it. It's that it's supposed to have all these implications. It's supposed to have these like lasting. I think
it does have at least 2 big implications. Once by the end of it.
I think it does, but the way that it's presented I think that was the part that was a bit confusing for me. I wasn't sure like what I was supposed to have gotten out of it necessarily. It felt very like high concept, but not executed or not presented to us that well.
I don't think it was presented as high concept, and then the actual concepts of the book. Every issue has like been its own high concept thing, and I feel like none of them really tied in together.
Yeah.
So full spoilers for Trial of Magneto number 5 and the previous ones, because it's the final issue of this mini. I guess it'd be a mini.
Yeah.
Right? Like every issue, something big happened, but none of it matters. Scarlet Witch dies issue 1. Issue 2, she comes back to life. She has her memory. I would say that's probably one of the bigger things. Yeah. Issue 3, Kaiju. Issue 4, multiple Wandas who don't show up in this. And then in issue 5, mutant afterlife / backup system. Like there's a lot here.
Yeah, and
none of it has to do with Magneto.
And that's actually the other messy part, is that none of this has to do with Magneto. Like, yes, at the end of it, and again, it's full spoilers, right? Like, he colluded with Wanda to create this ethereal afterlife situation or backup system.
Because I have thoughts about the collusion there.
Oh, I thought it was absolutely asinine. Like, I'm like, why go through all the rigmarole for this, and then you're gonna pin it on my boy Toad? No.
Yo, I know. Here's the thing. I'm not a continuity stickler nerd. I mean, I'm a nerd, yeah, but I'm okay with letting continuity just go by the wayside as long as it's for storytelling.
It's loose.
But yeah. I'm loosey-goosey with it. But Toad has had character development throughout the years. He was like the janitor for, the X, it was Jean Grey school during Wolverine and the X-Men era. And like, he had a relationship with Husk. He had development. He would never really do this, in the current state he's in. So I don't know. And also, I don't think Magneto would frame someone like that. Like, that just seems like another thing that just is out of character. I don't think the characterization of Magneto and Toad really worked. And also the turn, like, if you went back in these issues, would we see Toad in the background of everything?
Probably not.
I feel like I would have caught that because I like Toad. I would have pointed him out.
So I hadn't read the 4th issue before we read this one. I think I missed the last time we had done the review, and so matter. But like, as I was catching up, I remember like the cliffhanger at the end of that of last issue is, and it's you, and then you turn the page and it's credits, right? And then they teased it out like for 3 pages in this book, and that annoyed me beyond belief. Where it's just like, is like previously on, and then
it's
little
a Dragon
recap
Ball
page.
Z thing.
Yeah,
if done on purpose because of that, kudos. But, I don't think it was. It's the recap, something that was 3 weeks ago. Like, there haven't really been delays on this. Like if you had marketed this book as the title, get rid of Trial of Magneto, it had nothing to do with that. Call it Scarlet Witch the Redeemer. It would have sold so much more because of the prominence Scarlet Witch has as a character now. Like, in terms of its like pop culture cachet, Scarlet Witch is leagues and bounds beyond Magneto. And I think you could have marketed it as that. Would it be spoiling something? Maybe, but like, you get that in the first issue or 2. Like, I don't know.
But so was Trial of Magneto, right? Like, the whole premise and implication of it was somebody killed the Scarlet Witch. The book's titled Trial of Magneto. Like, you can kind of...
There was never a trial for Magneto in this.
They're still trying to figure out what all the evidence is. Like, by the end of this book, still.
Damn, Krakoans, are they called Krakoans or mutants? I don't want to be mutinist. Again, it's a race thing. I don't know if it's racist.
You know what? I feel like mutant and or Krakoan, it works.
Sure. They learn nothing from human bureaucracy and red tape. Like, come on, guys. You're supposed to be better than us. Do it better. It's just like... I mean, one of the things I don't necessarily like, but seeing Magneto go through every one of his costumes throughout this whole series is interesting. Like he's in the purple one at the end. He was in the black one temporarily. He starts off on the white one. I don't know. That's weird. I do think the Lucas Wernick art is good. I don't care much for the reusing of panels that continues in this issue. Specifically that there's probably 4 panels with Toad in it, even though he gets, name called in this. And 2 of them are the same panel, just mirrored.
Oh, really?
Which is yeah. It's the first one you see of Toad, and he looks a little slimy. When he's at the quote unquote trial. And then they do the same thing right before he gets sucked into the gaping the Krakusi is what I'm going to call it. The Krakoa's prison that he just opens up this wet gaping hole. It's called the Krakusi going forward.
That's it.
That's
it. Oh yeah,
the
you're
Krakusi.
Right. They totally did reuse it. Yeah.
And Wernick did that a couple times in the previous issue too. And like I get it. I mean, I copy and paste and work all the time. Like I get the sentiment, but I don't know. Maybe that's just how they avoid delays. And sure.
Yeah, you got to take your cuts wherever you can, Oh, I see the other way now where they're doing the whole sigil triangle thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I think outside of that, I don't know that the art necessarily knocked me out of the park or knocked it out of the park necessarily. It was serviceable. I think the panels are, easy enough to follow.
It reminds me of like when you have like an A tier artist on like a Spider-Man or Avengers and like they're off for an arc. It's like you don't get some shit guy on it. It's still a top tier book, but it's not, it's not Ryan Stegman. It's not whoever Ryan Otley like on Spider-Man. It's really good.
Yeah.
But it's like what Valerio Schiti used to be. Now he's more A tier.
Or like Pepe Larraz for anything X-Men. Like it's
sure. Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah, it's a conundrum, this book, man.
I mean, overall, I think I was really excited for the concept and the premise and how it started off, but from there it kind of petered out. The kaiju thing kind of came out of nowhere and like gets answered, but still, I guess not really. But you get a reason, but I don't know that contextually it fits necessarily or makes it better. And by the end of it, I'm interested in the implication. I can at least say that I'm interested in the implication, but I think to getting there was a bit of a slog, and I think there could have been a better way. One, from to your earlier point, like from a marketing perspective on this book, on what the concept was, how we could have presented it, but also a clearer line toward the end goal. I don't think we needed to be so sort of secretive and obtuse about it. I think we could have
this thing zigzagged to get to its conclusion.
Yeah, I think we could have been much more direct, and I think that would have benefited Leah Williams', I guess, narrative. I think it would have made things clearer. We wouldn't have felt like the kaiju came out of nowhere or something. Like this could have easily been 3 issues, and I would have been content removing like some content here or there.
Sure, and like the thing about like Leah Williams too is like I think her strength comes from character work, and this whole miniseries has been so plot heavy and idea heavy that it really hasn't let the characters breathe, which is where she excels. And there are little peaks here and there of it, specifically like with North Star's husband. Like he has a couple of good bits there, like Captain America towards the beginning, or like at the end where North Star says, he can have his child back whose XG never got activated. Like there are good bits there, but like that's not what this book was. So
you're definitely right about Leah Williams being that character-driven writer. Kudos to the plot, but I think, I don't know. I don't think it was executed well here. And if we had gotten stories more focused around, to your point, right, like North Star and having this been focused around the redeeming factor for Scarlet Witch. I think that would have been really compelling. And
which is probably what we would have gotten to if this was supposed to be an X Factor continuation.
Yeah.
You know, we'd have got more of Prodigy, more of North Star, more of Dakin. I think Dakin's still an X Factor. Yeah, I don't know. It's like weird all around. I wouldn't call it bad. I don't know what this would look like in trade.
I mean, it'll just be this.
I mean, I guess so. I'm still a Leia Williams fan. I don't think it's going to sour me on Leia Williams' work. Like, I'm still excited to see when her name's on a book.
Man, I've yet to find something that I connect with Leia Williams on. Like, this was going to be that book for me because issue 1 started off phenomenally, and I'm like, oh, cool, I'm in. This is my door into her work, and didn't stick for me.
Gwenpool Strikes Back is a good Leia Williams joint.
Okay.
I'd recommend that. That's a fun one. But again, that's like focused on a solo character, you know. So I think that's where she excels more rather than the ensemble pieces. And even X Factors was good towards the beginning, but I think it got bogged down by the premise a bit. Yeah, okay. I don't know.
All right, so what are your thoughts on the Elysian Garden concept?
I mean, it's cool, an idea that, you know, there's this, you know, peaceful alternative to the Gauntlet now, or the Crucible, sorry. And that they can get all these people who were supposed to be mutants to come back to life, and people who died before Cerebro. That's cool.
That's the part I didn't get.
Okay, so this is essentially anyone who was a mutant who died before like giant size X-Men.
Okay.
Because Thunderbird was one of those original X-Men that's in giant size X-Men. He debuted with like Storm, Wolverine. Wolverine wouldn't debut, but as a mutant, Wolverine debuted. And all them, and he dies like within the first arc.
Right.
Like, and he has never been brought back outside of, I think, like some zombie arc or something like that. But like Cerebro didn't exist at that point because it was just Professor X, you know. So in continuity, there are people who died before Cerebro even existed, so therefore they can never have been backed up.
Gotcha. So she was accessing this astral plane to be able
reality, I guess, reality and magic to get everyone. I see. So any mutant that died in World War II can come back now, you know.
Sure. Okay.
All Wolverine's buddies, I guess, can come back. So in practice, I don't know how that really matters. Because like in terms of the mutants that we know and love, it was after giant size X-Men, to be honest. Maybe you can pick and choose some weird, obscure characters from, I don't know, the original X-Men run, you know. But I don't know. The idea of it is nice, and now that you know, Wanda is loved and accepted by mutants, even though she's still not a mutant, it's a fine place to be, I guess. I am tired of Wanda as a broken character, and this kind of redeems her a bit. So
okay. And see, that arc, that whole arc would have been amazing, right? Where she's like, hey, I did this thing, this is my past, whatever, but now you got 20 million extra mutants that you didn't have before. Boom. Like, cool.
Yeah. She's literally redeemed it. She, instead of killing or ending mutants, she brings back so many that they never thought they can get. So like, I get that, but
yeah,
instead in issue 1 we had 10 pages of a autopsy. You know what I mean? So like, page real estate here. I would have preferred more character work.
And like for that to be the end goal, it's weird that Magneto would have to do this in secret. It feels odd. If the end goal is we're bringing back 20 million mutants, hey,
I don't think he would have trusted her. I think that's his justification for it.
Really?
Do I agree with it? I'm not sure, but
that felt a little messy. That felt like it didn't, like there was an easier way to get there.
Yeah, this is like, instead of drawing a straight line, it's like one of those Dark Side Omega sanctions where it just like twists and turns everywhere. And it's like, oh, we got there eventually, hit the target eventually, but you made some weird choices on the way. I don't know. And I also like the whole Toad. I didn't like it. The whole Toad, like, Magneto, I did it for you. It's like, and it's like when Rikishi ran someone over because he did it for The Rock. This is a wrestling thing. Sorry, Sean, you're not here. I don't have my laugh track together. I can't even make that thing. All right, whatever.
It went right over. It hit the bookshelf over there.
Yeah, it did. Yep, it hit one of my hit my tiki shelf over there. Oh well. Yeah, so let's talk about Batman One Dark Knight #1. This is by Jock. I don't really need to look up that creative team. I think I'm safe there.
What about the letter?
Oh shit, yeah, there is a letter. Guys, I don't host enough. Sorry.
I got you. Clem Robbins on letters.
Clem Robbins. Clem. You don't see that name too often anymore.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen Clem? You don't know any? You've never grew up with Clem?
I never grew up with Robbins.
Okay, Bruce. All right, so how did you feel about this? I'm curious to see how you felt about it.
I don't think I have any like immediate strong feelings. I think this was a good book. Jock as a creator, I think as an artist, Jock really great. Sure. I think he does a lot
Sells tickets.
Yeah, does a lot of good stuff. Still nails it here. I think there are some things that I feel like I don't typically see of him, and so I was a little more mixed than I typically am on Jock art. That said, I think the way he drove the story, the beats worked pretty well. The concept's interesting, and it was a well done issue. I'm not like in it, but I had fun, and I can see where this is going, and I think I'd follow it to the second issue.
Okay. All right. So I typically really like Jock art. I'm a big fan of Jock stuff. Whether he's with, Snyder or doing like creator own stuff, or even like a lot of his Batman stuff. I mean, there's that iconic Jock cover for Detective Comics with, the Joker, and it's made out of like bats and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Real big thing. But I didn't care for this, honestly.
Specifically on the art, or like as a package?
Well, I think the art was almost playing like when I read this, it was like, all right, One Dark Knight. It's going to be Jock doing Batman. A Gotham during a blackout. I'm like, all right, all for it. Mm-hmm. Plays to Jock's strengths. It's all dark. He can play with shadows, but like he doesn't do that in this issue. The first issue, it's all in this weird kind of sunset color.
Yeah, yeah.
Felt more like cotton candy than an actual sunset in terms of the coloring. I thought the coloring was a little strange in places. I didn't enjoy having Batman be like the blue cape Batman.
That I dug. That was cool.
That I enjoy it. It was the coloring was a little different than what I'm used to from Jock. But the art was good. I still think it was good, but mm-hmm. I did not like the story here. Mm-hmm. I thought the characterization of Batman and Alfred talking to each other did not hit the mark at all for me. Batman is like yelling a lot, like he's in a hurry. You know what I mean? Like even when Batman's in a hurry, I don't think he's ever rushed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel like there was a lot. Like there was like pressure on him when he's like Batman. He's usually composed, and I definitely agree on the the banter there. Felt too much back and forth for Alfred. He made his jokes about like hot cocoa and I should grab my gin and pour me a drink and whatnot. But that works, but I don't think it works for the dynamic that these two have.
I agree. It was way too quippy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very quippy.
Like I get it, like when you think of like the animated series or even like some of those Schumacher Batman things, like they quip against each other, but like it just seems counter to the content of the story.
Mm. Okay.
And I kind of wish we would have gotten to the blackout sooner. Like we don't get that till the very end, really.
I didn't mind that. I think I liked that pacing of like we're getting to it and we're gonna explore it into the next issue. I don't know how long this is. How many issues this is gonna be.
I thought I read somewhere it was 3, but I don't quote me on that because I really don't know.
But I didn't mind that. For me, what I did mind was like, it's interesting when you build Gotham up as like its own character, but it's different when you get a lot of, I guess, players into the city And
Sure.
I mean that with like all the gangs that popped up. There's one page where we got shown, a full map, which was cool. I appreciated the map, and
Love a map. Love a good map.
It's good.
They look like they're taking the same route that Leia Thompson took in her storytelling.
She went around the whole park though. They didn't.
Honestly,
they didn't
probably smarter. Probably smarter in this situation. Also, like in the map, Arkham and Blackgate being at the exact opposite ends of Gotham, like infrastructure wise. Come on, guys.
Yeah, they're not well thought out.
Yeah.
But the moment where there's like 2 pages worth of all the bad guys in all the different areas that were set up in the city are suddenly mobilizing, that felt like I don't know how else to word this.
I was getting a real Warriors vibe to it.
Very much so. Yes. Very much a Warriors vibe, but it felt like and I don't mean this, I feel like this is too charged, but like a cheap way to get Gotham as a character. Like,
it's the bad parts of Gotham coming out to.
Not even that. It's not like, it doesn't feel like it's like lived Gotham. It feels like, well, these are where people are just like where the NPCs are spawning from. They're just spawning from these spots. It's not that they have lives here, or that Gotham feels like you're exploring the underground and the wretched parts of the city. You're just kind of like, these are people that we needed locations, and everybody's converging on them, and just like Warriors, right? Like
Gotham Theft Auto.
Okay,
yeah. I get you. Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate it. I think once I can see what actually happens, like I'm gonna probably read issue 2. Like it's nice to look at.
Very much.
I think the coloring early on wasn't really my cup of tea, but I didn't hate it. But I don't know. There's they really make Batman talk less. You know what I mean? Like it's not what I'm getting at, and I don't really care much for the amount of screen time that was given to the police in this either.
Vasquez
and Gordon. It's this Vasquez person who's like the head of prisons, the prison bureau, which I don't know how she has that much power. Like I thought she was like the new commissioner or something. I thought,
that's what but isn't that what she is? Like, because Vasquez is like not a new character, right? Like that's canonically.
I know,
right?
I don't know. I know, like in current continuity, Montoya is a commissioner. So,
Renee Montoya.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Shows you how much I'm keeping up.
Yeah. What, you not reading Fear State, dude? Come on.
Bro, those 2 issues, we'll get into it later, but like Nightwing, those 2 like cut in Fear State Nightwing issues, I just like breezed through them. I was like, all right, this isn't relevant to my story.
Me too. Which felt like classic comics to me. Phil, event tie-in arc. Am I buying this? Yeah, I'm a friggin' collector. Of course I am. I have issues.
I gotta know how it fits in.
I buy this colorful paper to fill a void in my heart, like yeah. Am I gonna read it? Probably not. But like if the numbers are off and when I'm scrolling through it, I might cry. So
what did I miss?
Classic comics. Good old classic comics.
How did you like EMP as like the visuals?
Didn't care much for him.
Okay.
I thought it was like real boring design.
Like
bald dude, really? Don't we have like 5 of them in Batman's lore? We got Great White Shark. We got Zaz.
Freeze.
Yeah, we got too many bald white dudes in Gotham, and they're all fucked up. What does that say?
They are all fucked up.
like it's also really his name is Edward M. Like
I like that. It was a little cheesy, but I liked it.
Yeah, it was cheesy, but like pick another name than Edward. We already got Edward Nigma. You tell me Batman's got 2 fucked up Edwards he's dealing with. He's gonna fight 2 guys named Edward. Come on.
What if they're both attacking at the same time and he calls him? Huh? Who's gonna turn? Like,
there should be a third, and the arc could be Ed and Eddie. And you can hear weird sound effects in the background. I don't know. I mean, it was fine. It was fine. I mean, I think I saw somewhere there was like 5 Batman books that came out this week alone. So the bat saturation, especially when it comes to Black Label, like I want to see more things like Rogues coming out. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's gonna look good.
Do Rogues. That's my
Stay
jam.
tuned.
I'm
That's gonna
excited for
be.
that. But yeah, I don't know. I'll keep reading it because I have problems. But
I need the colored paper.
yeah, exactly.
I will say I did want to shout out the lettering because I thought that there were some standout moments. I'm looking at one. What page is this? This is page 31 where Batman's chasing Edward across like a tower, and then you got this cool panel that's like these sets of panels inside the buildings. And then the lettering's like him running away. He's like, "No, don't put me back. Gotta find." And I think the lettering there is pretty dynamic, okay. And some of the SFX are also pretty cool.
I will say in the early panels where like the police escort just happens and you have Batman chattering with Alfred, and then you have police chatter at the same time. I think there was some confusion there in terms of the bubbles. Originally, Alfred's bubbles are all circular with, you know, white bubbles, and the police were like the pointier, I don't know the name of it, text box. So it like shows us an electronic kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Accidentally switched with Alfred in two panels. So I'm like, why are the police talking in a British accent and calling people sir? Like I don't know. It threw me off for a second. Like if I notice it, then there's an issue. I feel like, but yeah, I think all in all, eventually, yeah, it does get good, but it did throw me off there for a bit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Avengers Forever, #1. This is a continuation of Jason Aaron's Avengers stories, plural, because there's like 20 of them right now, even though it's only one book, with art by Aaron Kuder, Cam Smith, and Jason Keith, and Triona Farrell on letters, I believe. Or maybe colors. I forget what you have.
So what's your deal with Aaron Kuder?
I love me some Kuder.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Kuder art. No, I mean, yeah, I can say that on a podcast, and it makes sense, you know, for what we're talking about. But I do really enjoy Aaron Kuder's art. I've been a fan of Aaron Kuder since I think it's Greg Pak's Superman arc, where it was a depowered Superman, you know, the jeans and t-shirt. And it was like a real grounded arc, unlike the J. Michael Straczynski grounded arc that was horrible. But then he did some of Jerry Duggan's Guardians of the Galaxy. Like there's nice. A weird, like it's super cartoony. And there's
especially in the face.
Yeah. And I like that. I like that in a comic book, especially when it's a weird comic book. You know what I mean? Like this deals with the Avengers across the multiverse. Really, it's kind of a beginning of forming a teen book. This issue, to kind of catch you up to speed. Dr. Doom forms a multiversal Masters of Evil.
Let's go.
He's trying to with Mephisto, and he's trying to take control of multiple Earths, ending in the 616. Specifically, Mephisto was like, hey, make sure we do 616 last. We can take over all these other multiverses first. And the way he's doing a lot of it is by starting the multiverse at its inception, when it was like the Savage Avengers, you know? Like,
that's
I don't know if you're familiar with like how Phoenix, Odin, the original Iron Fist, Agamotto, one of the original Black Panthers, Starbrand, and
Conan,
a ghost rider that rides a mammoth.
That's fucking cool.
Savage Avengers.
Oh,
this
are these
is like
different?
A savage lowercase s.
Okay.
Prehistoric Avengers. Probably prehistoric is probably the better way of saying it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So Dr. Doom and his Masters of Evil have been going in and just killing them so that the universe never actually forms.
All right.
So, Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes is kind of getting brought into this, and then this is the story.
So he's coming from like outside, right? He doesn't belong in this universe. Okay.
Yeah, he's from not ours, but 616.
Gotcha.
And this Deathlock is the one that's transporting him throughout time. Deathlocks are like multiversal time cops in a way.
I've read
androids and stuff. Oh, you read Uncanny X-Force? Yeah.
Kenny X-Force and then Carnage. Maximum Carnage.
It's Deathlock and Carnage?
Bro, he comes out like issue, I want to say 10, like out of nowhere, just like comes in.
That's a 90s book, man.
Yeah,
was Darkhawk in that too?
No, but this other dude that looks like Spawn, and I'm forgetting his name.
Night Thrasher?
Maybe.
Rage? No, Rage has the tiger mask.
A Marvel character that looks like Spawn, dude. He's just
There's so many. Deadpool.
No.
Deadpool.
My dude looked like carbon copy. No, Nightwatch.
Oh yeah. Nightwatch. Yeah.
He comes out.
That's a 90s book.
It's a 90s ass fucking book.
But yeah, so this is the beginning of this. So the master of evil that took over this universe is Red Skull bonded with the symbiote. So it's a Black Skull. Yeah. So there's a lot to catch you up. This is like my Fear State catch up that I did a couple weeks back.
I appreciate it. It's good context.
Where the story can go from here, because I think Jason Aaron does really good at batshit crazy stuff when he can kind of cut loose.
This is crazy.
It's not really tied to continuity. I mean, it is, but like only really Robbie Reyes is the only real actual point. Like you can kill off any of these other characters.
It's like doesn't
matter. Yeah, and I like the idea of that, especially when it comes to a Marvel comic. Like you can't really get that as much. So when you deal with the multiverse and these other interpretations of characters, you can learn to like them, and they can just kill them off unceremoniously, and then you can feel something again. That got dark. But yeah, this one's a Tony Stark Ant-Man.
And that reveal was kind of cool because I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. We're gonna see Ant-Man come out, and all of a sudden it's like, what? Tony? Huh? That was interesting.
Yeah, and it's fuck up drunk Tony too.
I interestingly enough, no context for that. I've not read any book where he's an alcoholic.
Because in the modern era, he hasn't been. Demon in a Bottle was like the big one. You probably wouldn't.
I've heard of it.
The cover, right? Like in the mirror. Yeah. It's a big part of his backstory, but it hasn't really been touched lately. Especially when, Tony Stark is the head of the main character in your multi-billion-dollar movie franchise. Maybe
not a good look.
Yeah, maybe he takes it easy on the sauce. But he's dead now, so they can do whatever the fuck they want with this. I think the concepts that Aaron throws in here are really cool. You can talk about either of them.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, you know what? Both. The Celestial Head getting shrunk and being used as a weapon. I'm like, that was fucking cool.
I like batshit crazy things like that.
Yeah.
Even though they just leave the head there, like I'll come back for it later. I'm like, dude,
what are you doing? Pick that shit up.
I've played survival games before. You don't leave the good weapon behind saying you're going to come back for it later. You're not going to come back for that. But yeah, I like the premise here. And then the little twist at the end with the Thor's daughters showing up from Jason Aaron's God of Thunder run.
That was cool.
Is a nice little touch too. See where that goes. I'll be honest. What really drew me into this was the cover.
Oh yeah.
I love a good like Where's Waldo cover. Where you can just pick shit out. And it's like, oh, could one of these characters be in it? Yes, one of them was. The one front and center was.
Well, three of them were.
I guess Robbie Reyes was there too, right? And then is there someone else that was there?
That thing? Vision.
Oh, okay. Vision. Oh yeah, the skeletal Vision was in this too.
Deathlock's
I don't know. I think I'll keep reading this. It's weird. It's stupid. It's like stupid comic books. I talked about how what did I say was good comic books, whatever, but this is like stupid fun in my opinion, and I'm a big Marvel mark, so I'll gladly read anything that the House of Ideas turns out because I'm simple.
I appreciate that you've been recommending some of these because otherwise I would never touch a lot of them. Dude,
you should read the original. Did you ever read the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider stuff by Chad Moore?
Nothing. Oh, Chad Moore?
Dude, that was like one of his, like after Luther Strode, it was like his big breakout thing. He's one who designed Robbie Reyes's, look and everything.
No, I did not.
Yeah, dude, it's good. Nice Hispanic Ghost Rider too. Young too. Like I was all down for it. I love Robbie Reyes. So like that's the thing too. Like I like following characters in the Marvel universe. That's why I read Moon Knight. I've always read Moon Knight. Typically if Hawkeye is front and center in a book, I'll read that too. But Ghost Rider is one of those other ones. And Jason Aaron had a fantastic Ghost Rider run way back before he was Jason Aaron,
Interesting. Okay.
A Johnny Blaze thing years ago, like pre-Avengers. It's probably around Secret Invasion actually, when it came out. So he is well versed in those concepts. So I don't know. I think there's some things that can happen here that could be fun.
I mean, the premise itself is like wacky and wild, so I think you get that as creators, you get sort of that liberty you mentioned earlier, to be able to just like the characters here are the potential for them to just die is just there. I don't know to what extent they might actually in the story, but I think because you have that low risk, you're able to put them into more engaging situations.
No, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't normally pick this book up. It was fun. I don't know if I'm going to follow it because, to your point, it is.
Want me to follow it? And I'll keep you up to speed. Like it's gotten crazier. Like it's.
You keep me posted. See that. This was why I used to tune into the long boxes because I don't read these books, but these guys do. See, and I'm gonna listen to hear their opinions because I enjoy them.
This is kind of why I recommended it because I know it's not your wheelhouse typically at all. Yeah.
Very much outside. But Aaron Kuder is an artist that I've not really like explored or dabbled in. I thought for me the backgrounds, the renderings were done very, very well. Less so the faces. For me, that was the thing that stuck out was the boyish charm that Tony in this sort of had, and
like my hair in high school.
He's like long.
Mark knows it because we have like a group thing, and they put a picture of me in high school as the friggin' cover photo for it.
Yeah. But yeah, man, like the backgrounds, phenomenal. Thor's hammer, that whole sequence. You see like these shadows come across. You see like the etchings in the wood, the cross hatching on this skull on this one page. Like,
dude, it's a vengeance hammer too. Like, where's that gonna go?
I see. I don't know what that means.
Spirit of vengeance, Ghost Rider. Oh, is this gonna be a Ghost Rider wielding Mjolnir
on fire?
Yeah, dude.
That actually slaps.
Is wacky comic book shit. That
slaps.
This is why I like dumb shit like that.
Dude, the one page with the train and like all the fire, just like, can you imagine how long he took to like
a crematora train? Like it runs on burning human bodies. Like it just sounds like Jason Aaron just drinking whiskey somewhere in North Carolina. I think one of the Carolinas. I think he lives in, and just seeing what comes out of his, in a stupor. And I think it's great. So
it's good stuff. We'll see if I stick around. You let me know, and maybe I'll pick it up. Keep me posted.
I got you. Let you know if they do like a Swamp Thing shows up. It's multiverse, right? Can that work?
If he shows up,
man thing who can talk. There we go.
There it is.
Yeah. So now we got some wacky shit. Let's talk about Dick. Nightwing number 87 by Tom Taylor, Bruno Redondo, and colors by Adriana Lucas and Wes Abbott on letters.
Yep.
I like how Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo are considered storytellers in the credits of this.
I feel like they definitely had to collab extra on this one, I think.
Yeah.
How did you feel? Have you been following Nightwing?
I was just about to ask you that. Yeah, I have been.
Okay. Same.
And I know you've been digging it.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Like, it's gonna sound like I just really oversimplified things, but it's happy Batman. Like,
I know exactly what you mean.
It's what I kind of need right now.
Yeah.
Like, do I love the antics of Batman? Jumping through his cityscapes and beating the bad guys. Sure, but the world's a fucking depressing place. Let's do that with an actual good person who doesn't just beat up poor people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in One Dark Knight, all those gangs coming out. I'm like, why don't you address the gang problem in a more humanitarian way? And talk about how. And that's what Dick's doing in this.
That's exactly what he's doing.
Exactly, he's trying to tackle things as Dick Grayson and Nightwing, which I'm sure stories have talked about Bruce trying to do that, but he's never fucking did that.
Well, but also to your point, his characters, he's a totally different character. He is the nice guy. You can relate to him as I'm trying my best to make the best of these situations, whereas Batman's just
Batman should be in Arkham Asylum. That's my theory.
You see,
I want that Black Label book.
He should have been in the EMP chamber.
I agree. No, but this is just like fun, and I've been a Redondo fan, I think, since Suicide Squad with Tom Taylor, right? I think that's where I was introduced
Yes,
to him.
yeah, good stuff.
Which I really enjoyed. And it wasn't in this issue, but I believe like the Airy and Wing showed up in the previous issue of this. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. This is a continuous image book.
How did you feel about it?
I would like to see what the continuous image looks like. If
you join our Discord, one of the people on there, shout out to Kafis, they put together like a whole thing of I think he reads digitally, and so he put together like a whole compilation image of it, so you can actually check it out, and it looks really pretty fucking cool. Yeah, it's really cool.
Is it a gimmick? So how do I explain it? So it's literally every page is like, if you would line them up next to each other, it would be one continuous image.
Yeah,
which I don't think I've seen before.
I've definitely not.
Yeah.
I think
and it works strangely.
It works. I think it works well based on where they cut the pages off. I'd be curious to see what this looks like in physical. The thing is, I'm assuming you also read it digitally, and the thing for me is like how this works executionally, because for one thing at least, you can now on Comixology you can now do 2 pages at the same time. You can turn it sideways and stuff, and so
make your own splash pages of this book.
Yeah, and well, I don't know if you noticed, but there's only technically 16 pages because everything is a double page spread.
Sure.
And so while I was scrolling through, I kind of realized I realized that we have less sort of story real estate because these pages are all continuous, and Redondo had to really guide you through the story, and so the lettering also had to guide you through the story. And so I think what ended up happening, at least for me, was I feel like I didn't get as much out of the issue as I feel like I could have, because this essentially boils down to there's a hit out on Dick Grayson. He has to turn into Nightwing and then save what's the dog's name?
Bitewing or Haley.
Bitewing.
It's both.
Yeah. And that's it. And like that's the whole flow of it. I think that works. And for this issue to be able to do this in one continuous story, I think it makes the most sense because it's a very compact, very focused story. But I think content-wise, I didn't get as much as you would in a normal issue. And I'm not knocking it for that. I think it's, I think it is what it is. And the way that they executed this was done really, really well. I just feel like there was more from a story perspective that you would get in a normal issue. Not a bad thing. It's just, this is the way that they were telling it. And I definitely appreciated it.
I get that. Yeah, I think you lose a little in terms of story content. You do lose a little bang for your buck here, but I think it makes up for it in the sheer wonder of how they actually pull this off.
Yeah.
It is really interesting how Bruno Redondo must be tired of drawing Dick Grayson at this point.
Nah, like, dude, he's having so much fun.
It's like so crazy how often he's like drawing him like in 20 different ways in one page, and it just follows him. It's almost like a time trial mode where you can kind of see your ghost behind you in the background.
Yeah.
And just the detail of the city on this, like, honestly, I don't mean to be like one of those dorks, but like this will probably be like best issue Eisner nom.
Yeah.
It's fun. It is pretty. He's really leaning into the cool color scheme. The colorist was Adriano Lucas, where Nightwing's, he's blue and black, and this whole book is a lot of pinks, a lot of purples, blues. It kind of keeps that theme throughout. It's good stuff, man. And I like how like wholesome, the relationship between Barbara and Dick is in this.
Yeah,
they're not fighting. It's not like overly sexy. Like these are people who've known each other for so long, went through so much shit, and they're comfortable with each other and they trust each other. And like that's what this is. And I enjoy
that's been the part that I've enjoyed the most for that series, for the series so far, has been that relationship. Just because you're right, it's wholesome. It's they bounce off each other so well, and I feel like
Tom really has each of these characters down, like to a science. Like he knows, he has the voice down, he has their interactions down, and what they would do on a typical night. And this is exactly what happened on a typical night. One for Dick Grayson, and for Nightwing and Batgirl. It just works.
Yeah, and all the buzz I've been hearing about this book too, not even like this particular issue, but like the series and this creative team has been nothing but good.
Yeah.
I think it's like it's doing the thing that I've always hoped, where Nightwing kind of becomes an A-tier book, you know, when you look at DC slate, which I think is something that always should have been. Yeah, man, I'm really enjoying this. And also, like, there's nothing more fun than like if this were filmed, it would be like a continuous shot, you know, like True Detective season 1 sort of thing, mixed with a little bit of John Wick with the dog story going on. Like it's like, yeah, it was just a good issue. I mean, this is my pick of the week out of the books I read so far. So
same. Yep.
I was really a fan of this, but yeah,
I think
I'm excited to read more Dick.
Always ready for more Dick.
Yeah.
The this being a potential like top tier book is, I think, present in this issue. And not even just because of like the artistry involved, like yes, 100%, but also I think to your earlier point on like, this is a happy Batman, and there's a lot of character and a lot of care being put into building Dick Grayson and building Nightwing as a like city hero that extends beyond just I go here and I'm kicking ass. Because I think that was the
poor people ass.
Poor people ass, yeah. Specifically, yeah.
Yeah, I want to stress that. I have qualms to pick with Batman. Sorry.
But that's what brought me into the book in the first place, was the fact that he's presented with, you have this money, and now what? Like, what are you going to do? Yeah. And I thought that was really interesting, just out the gate. And so, yeah, I don't know, I'm down.
Yeah, I'm ready for more of this. And I think Tom Taylor just signed an exclusive deal with DC, right? Smart. Yep. DC. That's a good move. You know, there is going to be a Justice League writer position opening up in like March or April. So I wonder if I think right now it's like Heyman or Ram V is up there for the spot. So let's see where that goes. I think two of the, like, Ram V and Tom Taylor are like two of the big guys at DC right now. 100%. Ram V's, you know, dipping his toe into Marvel a bit. But yeah, I'm excited. So those are the books we're reading this week. I'll probably read more. You can hit me on Discord if you want to know what else I'm reading. There's a lot more. Trust me, there's a lot of stuff they would not let me talk about on the show. So I don't think you guys want to talk about Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which I'm still reading.
Oh, dude, I could not. I fell off that so hard.
Dude, you just have a nice I make a nice cold brew old fashioned, and I just listen to some thunderstorm ambient noise in the background, sit in my chair and read the prose that is Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow.
That's my issue with it, is that it is prose.
I like it. Because it's not Supergirl's point of view. So I don't know, I like it. Yeah. But what are we excited for next week? I may be reading a lot of weird stuff this week, but next week, I'm gonna guess right now, there's probably not that much. It's what, a fourth week, and it's a holiday week. So what do we have? Robin comes out next week. Actually, I lied. There's some decent stuff. I've been really enjoying Robin. It's by Joshua Williamson, and I think this issue has a different artist. This is Roger Cruz is on this one. It's a Mortal Kombat story with Damian.
Okay.
And then Devil's Reign #2 comes out next week.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
All right.
Love me some Daredevil.
I'm looking at Human Target comes out next week. Definitely excited for that book. That's been very, very good.
I totally lied. Timeless #1 comes out next week too. The big new Marvel event book. I lied. It's a big ass fourth week. Damn it. Jinxed it.
Power Rangers Universe comes out next week too.
Is that #1?
Yep. You
know what? You want to do it?
I'd be down for that.
We've not done a Power Rangers. We've not done a. I'm fucking talking like that.
We've not.
We've not done a Power Rangers book on this podcast.
I
checked it out.
I would absolutely, especially considering like we're definitely gonna do when they do Godzilla versus Mighty Morphin. That's gonna be fucking wild.
Yo, dude, yeah, I'm ready for that one. That's gonna be. Kale will have to wake up in the middle of the night to be on that show.
In the middle of his sleep.
Yeah. I mean, what is needed for?
But next week, also, Tyler, you've glossed over my boy. Swamp Thing Green Hell #1. That's Jeff Lemire, Doug Mankey, dude.
Dude, I fucking lied. It's a huge week next week.
Huge week. Superman 78 #5's coming out.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Oh, you off that one?
No, I'm not reading that. I've never seen the original Superman movie. Sorry.
No. All right. Well, so much for that.
Sorry. I'm not an old. Haha.
Awkward.
All right, guys, that's our show this week. Where can you do the plugs? I didn't write my script for the plugs.
Oh no, you're good. And
plug me up, Marco.
Let's go. If you want to listen to more of our content, tune in every Monday. That's when we do our regular weekly podcast. We cover the news, we cover what's going on in the world of comics, and pop culture in general. Every once in a while, we'll have an interview. We recently talked to Jeremy Holt.
It's a while. It's like every other week at this point. Jeez.
We try. When we get them, they're good. And this 2 weeks ago, we had Jeremy Holt on the show. They talked about Made in Korea, great book from Image that recently wrapped up. We also had Christopher Sabella a few weeks before that. And we have a few other people maybe coming down the pike. We'll see. We're still figuring out some things in the new year. And if you liked this set of reviews, these are our Thursday reviews, which cover the books that come out Wednesday, as Tyler mentioned. So anything Marvel, DC, or anything else that comes out. Our Image reviews come out on Wednesday, day and date. Those are given to us by Image, and so we get a chance to review them early.
Wednesday is the Spawn show.
Wednesday is the Spawn show, dude. And you know what? Spawn's getting pretty good. We'll see what happens.
Not Spawn, but like the other Spawns, right?
No. Well, Rory McConville is going to be on the mainline Spawn, and it's been last issue was good. Go check that episode out if you guys haven't. It's actually, we're surprised. And then our book club, which comes out the last Tuesday of every month, is going to come out next week. If you're listening to this on Thursday, on the 28th, and that is going to be Scott Pilgrim.
The I'm a Nice Guy Bible.
But he is a nice guy. I don't know what you're talking about. He's a great guy.
I never read it, but I have hot takes on the idea of Scott Pilgrim. But
Scott Pilgrim's great. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm sure the book is great. I think the character is a piece
Book's
of
a lot
shit,
of. Well, if you want to hear our thoughts on it, go tune in.
I will listen to that one. Yeah, I should probably read them first. Be educated beforehand, but that's a lot to read right now. And
nah, it's okay. You can do like some of those.
Not in color, so.
Actually, funny enough,
they have the color one. I know they have the color one now.
They do have the color. They have the color one.
Is that what you read it on?
Yeah. Sean actually is first time reading it, and so he read it in color, but everyone else had read it in black and white before. So it was a cool conversation about that.
Oh, interesting. Okay, cool. All right, guys. Until next show. I don't want to say next week because there's other shows in between, but yeah, I guess we'll see you.
Catch you then.
Goodbye, guys.